Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and UN Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Well-being. Before we start today's session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue today's session. Today, we have a few commemorations. Today is National Coloring Day. So we see the world through colored glasses. And National Coloring Day, an annual event on September 14th, expands the experience into lots of artsy mediums as a stress reducer. Coloring isn't just for kids anymore. Whether it's been decades of merely days, National Coloring Day is about setting aside some time for ourselves to color, get creative with papers, crayons, colored pencils, or markers. Try oil pastels and paint. On National Coloring Day, let your imagination fly a colorful world and brighten up your day. Whether you like crayons, colored pencils, pens, or permanent markers, there are art supplies somewhere with your name on them. Grab your favorite materials and sit down with some paper or a coloring book. If you don't have one, go online and print out free coloring pages at home. Otherwise, you can use in your mobile, there are some apps where you can use your hand or stylus to color these coloring pages on mobiles. And people love parties, and you can share the joys of coloring with all your friends on National Coloring Day. Buy some colored pencils, a coloring book with perforated pages, and spread them out on any flat surface, and share the colored pencils and socialize while you work, and donate some art supplies. It's unfortunate that over the past decade, schools are experiencing reduced budgets for their fine arts programs. On National Coloring Day, make a difference by donating coloring supplies to your local school arts program. Many libraries also offer after school activities, and thanks to generous donation, coloring might be just becoming one of the favorite children activities. Coloring promotes wellness. Might seem like adult coloring suddenly became popular out of nowhere, but it is widely known coloring is a profoundly beneficial hobby, and the activity of coloring is both creative and repetitive, allowing your mind to get observed in what you are doing and let some of these high level cognitive functions take a break. And coloring is wordless, which lets your linguistic processes take a breather too. You can see, though this is a Western context, but that's how our ancient traditions and customs promote putting this rangoli, muggu, in Telugu we say muggu, you know we put in front of our homes, or in they say it kolam or rangoli, or different words are used in different languages, cultures and tradition. That's why we had this very good culture of putting rangoli with this floor. One thing is that floor which is used to make rangoli, that is a feed for small insects, ants and other you know microorganisms on the land, or in the land where they come and eat. So they also get their feed, because every species on the universe have their own purpose of existence, and they are contributing, except we human beings who are destroying. But when we take, all other species have their own job to do, and they are contributing in their own way to the environment protection, conservation, preservation. So not only that, that improves a lot of meditation, concentration, eye-hand coordination, and it improves the gross motor skills, fine motor skills, by practicing and by putting this rangoli. This. So as I already mentioned and many times keep mentioning, entire world is learning from us, and but we are unfortunately forgoing our own culture and traditions, which are very scientific, because there is no one to explain, and even we are also not willing to go back and study why the scientific basis behind these practices. We are also ignorant. Our own culture we don't know, and others are teaching us now the same, in the form of they are repacking these things, like old wine in a new bottle kind of saying. They are repacked in a different packaging, modern packaging, and they are serving the same. And not only that, they are making changes which are altering the sole purpose of what it was intended to be. And that is creating new problems, because without a holistic understanding of why these were promoted, and if they try to modify that without a proper knowledge of because they will always lead to some kind of problems. So today, various art therapies, mandalas, mandala art, or what all are there, are the products of our ancient Rangoli only. we used to have different kinds of, styles of rangoli, putting with dots or with lines or with, some curves, shapes. So these all, in the early morning, where in the, before dawn, we used to, dawn and dusk time, we clean our, houses, and we, put this rangoli by putting some water, sprinkling water in and around. So that will purify the place, and it will help us to, change, alter the environment, the ambience, that will help us to cool down. I mean, if there is any dust, that will settle down. And there are a lot of, microorganisms and other ants and other things which also need some kind of food. So this, floor, which multi-purpose floor or whatever floor it is. Otherwise, also we use, this rocks, calcium powder, a different kind of rock powder. So that is also like acts as a manure, acts as an, uh, antibacterial and also anti, insecticide. And in that we use organic colors, especially when we see now we are using all synthetic colors. But earlier, a lot of these were, flowers were used, leaves were used, and these rotten vegetables, or leftover vegetables, or leftover the vegetable kitchen waste is used, and they were dried and powdered, and organic colors were prepared with that, and that is used for coloring. That also fosters creativity, innovation, you know and problem solving skills, because these dots, connecting dots and lines and graphs, this is not so easy, you and this needs practice, and a lot of thinking that goes in. So all these practices, which were, very scientific, and which were fostering the holistic development of human being, due to our ignorance or negligence somewhere, we are not aware the scientific basis of these practices. Even if we are aware, we are not following due to various reasons. That is causing a lot of health issues, and also, and we are losing our own cultures and traditions. So similarly, there are a lot of days that these are being commemorated, and with that we can see how we can appreciate, what kind of, every day we are doing this work, and otherwise it is being practiced and meditation or, therapy, and we are paying for that, and and that is also not a foolproof method, because a lot of changes has come and crept in into that system, and we don't know exactly whether it is, yielding the same results or not. So the activity of the coloring is both creative and repetitive, allowing your mind to get absorbed in what you are doing and let some of the high level cognitive functions take a break. And it is also fun. All those health benefits aside, coloring is really enjoyable unto itself. And as you relax and start coloring, you can practically feel your creativity flowing faster. All your daily intrusive thoughts start to lighten up, and coloring provides a wonderful getaway experience. And it's not just, coloring. It's, goes beyond to get a holiday where we can be extra creative by trying new mediums and color outside those lines. So go further, apply this idea to other parts of life. So today there is also another commemoration, National Creamfield Donut Day. See, this is how everyone, every aspect or every product or a service is being celebrated and commemorated. But when we have our days, we have one this food, we have food festivals and feast where we are not celebrating today, where we are not appreciating today. And even we have Telugu, they call it as Atlatante. I mean, the Dosa festival. I don't remember exactly at this point of time. Maybe by the end of, if I able to recollect, I will tell you that word, where these pancakes are prepared and offered to Lord, and these and they are distributed among, and that is a kind of ritual that happens. But how many are still following that? And yesterday was also International Chocolate Day. So, like every day, every aspect of that they are appreciating and commemorating in a similar way, which we were doing earlier, but we left out all these things, commemorations or appreciation. We are more into materialistic, I mean, the ritualistic, order, where we are not able to appreciate basically what is the purpose of, commemorating or celebrating or having these days. This is an opportunity, at least in generally we don't appreciate, but at least this serves as an opportunity at least once in a year to come together and enjoy, rejoice the taste or celebrations, whatever rituals and associated with it. So of course donut is a junk food again, so that's a different matter altogether. But National Creamfield Donut Day is celebrated, and the most cream-filled donuts is the Boston cream donut, or whatever, however you call it, named for its resemblance to the Boston cream pie. This donut is a butter cake filled with rich vanilla flavored custard, deep fried and given a layer of chocolate glaze. And not only does it look appetizing, but the taste is just as good. So the donut, as we know, came at about around the 17th century in New Amsterdam, but did not yet take their current ring shape. During this time, balls of baked duff were eaten in Europe, and sometimes they were filled with jam. And Dutch coolants of New Amsterdam had what they called olykoeks, which translate to oily cakes. Although the name doesn't sound appetizing, they were a customary treat for each. While the person responsible for injecting cream inside of the donuts is unknown, the culinary decision blossomed in the middle of 19th century. Molded desserts and charolets were eaten during this time, and apple, apricot, and other fruits were put inside. Uh, and cream-filled donuts are best when eaten fresh, but they should not relate. They should stay relatively good for 3 to 5 days. The donuts are, traditionally referred in media and in real life are the ring-sized donuts and cream-filled donuts are often forgotten about. So this National Cream-Filled Donuts Day, they finally have the time, so that she can share. But anything which can these foods like which can be consumed, which if consumed regularly can lead a lot of health issues. And today is also another day commemorating National Food is Medicine Day. Is celebrated in US every year on September 14th. And Health and Food Organizations use the day to awareness about the barriers of good food in US, and the campaign points out many low income and high income. No, I think the goal of bringing these challenges to the forefront on National Food is Medicine Day is to generate the buzz to encourage government and private sector entities to collaborate on developing solutions. Malnutrition is a threat and that is getting worse quickly. It is a global problem of the same level as poverty and climate change. The World Committee on Food Safety has said malnutrition in all its forms, including hunger, lack of micronutrients, overweight, and obesity, and diets aren't very good either. They don't have enough of certain vitamins, minerals, and fiber, or they have too many calories, saturated fats, salts, and sugar. And the world's burden was also by unhealthy eating and lack of exercises, measured as a number of years lost due to ill health, disability, or early 2005. Today is also National Live Creative Day. Though this holiday has been around a relatively short period of time, it is certainly can't be overemphasized. So let's look at this technology. National Live Creative Day was introduced in 2016, an American company called Creative Promotional Products, founded in 1994 and located in Illinois, Chicago. And the company provides full service promotional products to the brands. They provide warrior name, um, and they provide, a wide range of services, which range include brand awareness campaigns, custom decorated apparel, corporate and executive gifts, incentive programs, and printing services through an initiative called Live Creative. And the company established the holiday to encourage the people who live more creatively in a natural way. The history of the word creative is traceable to the Latin word creo, which means to take off or create something in the past. From the word that through an initiative called Live Creative, the company established the holiday to encourage people to live more creatively. The history of the word creative is traceable to the Latin word creo, which means to make, create something. In the past, the word has, in modern times, the creativity has become associated with out of box thinking and ideas that stand out from the crowd. It is no longer limited to disciplines such as arts and literature, but as per these ethics, when we come across someone, where they can contribute, they can join us and contribute. So instead of giving, more preference to the individuals or organizations, it will not yield, it will not. So with this, we shall end the commemoration. We are waiting for speaker. Today we have one speaker yet to join. Okay, this week from September 14 to 20 in US, it is commemorated as a National Coding Week. It's in between September 14th to till 20. It's time to bring coding and digital literacy to everybody in a fun and engaging way, learning digital skills and gaining more knowledge and about it helps us make sense of rapidly changing world around us. This week also encourages us to nurture increasingly essential coding expertise in order to close the skills gap in the United States. This makes for a difficult dynamic as 92% of executives believe that American workers are not skilled as they need to be. Get inspired by the development of coding and computational thinking skills in order to explore new ideas and innovate for the future. The idea and grassroots movements for National Coding Week began in the UK, founded by former head teacher Richard Rolfe and tech entrepreneur Jordan Love, who was appointed as EU Code Week ambassador for the UK. It took place during the week of September 21st, 2014, intending to help adults improve their digital literacy to fill the growing skills gap in the country. But what is coding and where did it begin? Coding is the process of using a programming language to get a computer to behave the way we want it to be. Every line of code tells out the mission to do something. A document full of lines is called a script, which is designed to carry out specific object. So we'll be having, various programming languages and various interpreters, compilers, where we can write a program and get it, compiled and executed so that it performs the task it is intended to with the help of the program. And so Ada Lovelace, Countess of Leslie's, was an English mathematician and writer who introduced many computer concepts during the 1840s, and he is generally considered the first computer programmer. He spent 1842 and 1843 translating an article written by the famous mathematician Charles Babbage, who wanted to use changeable punch cards to store programs on his invention. Uh, And Charles Babbage, who wanted to use changeable punch cards to ensure programs on the invention, the analytic engine, which was the first computer, she predicted that one day the theoretical computer would be able to play music as well as chess, which came true also. The programming language Ada is a honorable name after her. The process of coding began in 1954 when the company Hollerith formed and would one day evolve into international business machines. In short, IBM. IBM gave birth to the first ever high-level programming language where the team has, a lot of scientific and engineering programs. And new coding is a language that is increasingly important for young people and adults to understand. It's a globalized world and it can be intimidating project, which means National Coding Week is a time to help understand and coding its importance. So with this, maybe there shall conclude. I think there is some problem with the speakers end. We'll continue that session on some other day. Kindly fill up the feedback form shared in the chat box, and we will see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you everyone once again for joining us. Kindly fill up the feedback form. It's mandatory to receive certificate. Registration form is also has been shared in chat box. Quickly fill up the feedback form. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same link with a different topic. So for today, take care. Good night.